What Putin and China are planning will change everything, and the Western powers are going to be left with peanuts. Now, moments ago, just before I sat down to record this, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping just made a major announcement. That's right. The two leaders are coming together in Kazakhstan. They're going to have a big meeting to finalize their partnership. I'm telling you guys, the West is facing an economic atom bomb that will explode prematurely in Europe and America and push them into their own great reset years ahead of time. I say prematurely because it's all being accelerated by Western powers hiding behind failed Russian sanctions. It's all a charade. First, it was the pandemic. Now the sanctions, all being used to accelerate this consolidation of power. We are seeing the symptoms all over Europe this morning. A leaked police memo in Britain this morning shows that the police there are prepping for a tidal wave of violent crime this winter. Yeah, this memo wasn't supposed to leak out. Specifically, the UK police memo is predicting spikes in shootings, in burglaries, and even a breakdown in public order triggered by a surge in cost of living and financial hardships. Of course, it's all man-made. In Prague this weekend, thousands of people took to the streets to protest what their governments are doing.
Czech Republic is going through their worst cost of living crisis in 3 decades.
Far left and far right protesters came together. Can you believe that? They came together to say down with this government aligning itself with Western failed policies. My God, if anything could bring the far left and the far right together, it's down with the fact that they're joined up with Western policies. That's amazing. And in California, they're now giving out $1,000 vouchers to anyone who won't drive a car. Yes, in the land of wanting you to own a $60,000 electric car, they don't want you to charge the car that you drive or drive anything at all. So if you don't drive, great. We're going to give you $1,000. Stay at home.
Got room for one more if you still want to go to Aspen.
I wish I was making this up. You are watching the collapse in real time. Now, you'd be forgiven if you weren't paying attention to all of this. The mainstream media is ignoring the bigger story and what it means for the decline of Western power. You were probably distracted this weekend by President Biden's crazy V for Vendetta speech this week.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They're MAGA Republicans. Extreme MAGA Republicans.
I mean, everyone was distracted by that. So you won't pay attention to what's really happening, right? They want to distract you. I think we are at a pivotal moment in world history right now. Europe and the United States are on a path that will forever alter the Western landscape.
And what is the moment we're in now? Are we, in your judgment, in a moment in which the world order is going to change?
Yes, we're changing the world order.
And all of this reordering is being accelerated by what Putin and Xi Jinping are doing in Russia and China. I've put together some really important data for you today, and I want to get a little bit more granular on these details. You see, the West is shooting itself in the foot by accelerating these Russian sanctions, and they'll all but collapse once China invades Taiwan, which I believe absolutely is going to happen. The West will have no choice but then to impose the same ridiculous sanctions on China that it did to Russia, right? It would be hypocrisy if they don't. You're invading a country, we've got to put all of these sanctions on you. Now, I went through China's customs data this week. Very, very interesting. And the numbers are staggering. The total trade between China and Russia jumped 35.9% in the year 2021, last year, to a record $147 billion. That's pre-Ukraine war, guys. They've already been plotting and planning this alliance for years. Just look at what Putin predicted about all of this back in 2018. He knew it was coming, and he'd already been planning this move to self-sufficiency as a way of dominating Western hegemony. Watch.
Значит, вы знаете, я иногда думаю, что было бы хорошо для нас, если бы те, кто хочет вводить санкции, ввели бы все санкции, которые только можно ввести, и как можно быстрее. Это развязало бы нам руки для защиты своих национальных интересов такими средствами, которые мы считаем наиболее эффективными для нас. А вообще это очень вредно. Это вредит тем, кто это делает.
All of the headlines have been around Russian gas, which of course is damning enough, right? We see the reverberations across Europe and around the world. But I want to look deeper a little bit at the minerals that Klaus Schwab didn't even think about. You see, in order to move his world towards the Great Reset, he needs lots of minerals that he doesn't have right now. And China and Russia's alliance are cutting off the world from silver, gold, copper, zinc, uranium, and more. To me, this is one of the most important stories of our time. Elon Musk just said that Tesla will not source their minerals from questionable countries. So that means Tesla needs copper, silver, etc. He says that most of the Tesla vehicles are built using copper and steel and aren't getting these minerals from any questionable countries, right? They're not going to get it then from China. They're not going to get it from Russia. So they'll need Canada and they'll need the United States to step it up big time. And the brainiacs over at Goldman Sachs see a big spike in copper prices coming very, very soon. In fact, Jeff Curry from Goldman Sachs, he's the head of their commodities for Goldman. He's the guy that spends all of his time studying minerals. He says, get ready for a 50% increase in copper prices.
Talking of a massive deficit in copper coming in the next 3 years. Jeff, would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And that's what drives our $15,000 a ton target. We're trading somewhere around $10,000 a ton right now. So, $5,000 on 10, that's a 50% rise.
So now where does this copper even come from? Well, a massive amount of it comes from Russia. In fact, Russia exported about half of its refined copper production in 2021. And get this, Russia exported as much as 50% of its copper to guess where? Germany, the Netherlands, Turkey. But once Russia invaded Ukraine, Europe got all hypocritical and sanctimonious and suddenly forced itself to look for copper elsewhere. Where do we go? We don't know. And this isn't stopping anytime soon. Germany just doubled down on its position against Russian minerals. Here's Germany's foreign minister.
But if I give the promise to people in Ukraine, we stand with you as long as you need us, then I want to deliver. No matter what my German voters think, but I want to deliver to the people of Ukraine.
Yeah, just to be clear, she doesn't care about German voters. She cares about Ukraine. Okay. So when one door closes, another one opens. And in this case for China, which received 30 to 35% of Russia's refined copper exports in 2021, that number exploding now in 2022. So the rest of the world is about to be cut off from these minerals, right? Electric cars use significantly more copper than traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. The West needs Western producers to bring these minerals to the table. It can't rely on Russia, can't rely on China for this any longer. When I did my homework on this topic, I found out that nearly each connection in a vehicle contains silver. Considering the relatively small global annual output of silver, it's astonishing that over 55 million ounces of silver are used by electric vehicles. And for more or less coincidental geological reasons, China simply has very little in the way of precious metals. Not much gold, virtually no silver. They have reasonable amounts of copper, but not a lot of it. That means an off-the-chart demand for these minerals in China. And guess who's going to be the top supplier? Russia. That means Russia will first turn to its friends like the BRICS nations, right? China, Brazil, India, South Africa, and so forth to supply silver and copper. Again, the West needs Western producers. In fact, it's projected that the electric vehicles will account for 49% of silver use in automobiles by the year 2040. These Western countries have an unbelievable demand for solar and photovoltaic panels, which already comprise a considerable segment of the silver market, accounting for roughly 100 million ounces annually. The World Economic Forum needs solar panels, and they need these minerals badly. That's why we've partnered with one of the best copper, gold, and silver producers in Canada to bring you this video. They are CLLFX Mines. And just wait until you see what they're about to announce, which could make you a lot of money. All of this, regardless of where you come down on this issue politically, the world is not stopping its demand for these minerals. And if you can invest in these companies, then you can benefit from what I'm about to show you right now. So if you know anything at all about investing, you'll realize timing is everything. And what I'm about to show you is huge. First of all, CLLFX is about to announce drilling results. That's right. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen later this week. We don't know the date exactly when they make these announcements. They've already publicly announced that they're in the middle of drilling sessions right now. So each time that CLLFX has finished a drilling session, they announce results, and guess what? Their stock skyrocketed as a result. So if you were to invest in this stock today ahead of their drilling results, you'd potentially be making a lot of money. Now, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to invest. I'm just telling you that's what I look for when I invest in these companies. So here's what happened the last time that CLLFX announced drilling results. In 2020, they were in a drilling session. And upon announcing a discovery, the stock went from 79 cents a share on June 12, 2020. It skyrocketed to $4.49 a share on February 5th, 2021. A 468% move. It also had a 1 week, 150% move on drilling news between July 17th and July 24th, 2020. So the reason I'm telling you this, and the reason I'm releasing this video today, is because the company is right in the midst of drilling, and it could have news any day now, this week perhaps. So I wanted to get this video out before they announce results. And if they're able to hit successful holes again, this stock could explode. Now, I'll have a link to their stock ticker in the description below, and it's right here on the screen. Go and do your due diligence on this. Again, this is a Canadian producer, so you'll need to get one of the bigger brokers like E-Trade or TD Ameritrade to invest in this stock. But some more data for you. This is a founder-led company, and Max Porterfield is the CEO and founder, is a major shareholder and has been for years. His own money is tied to the company and his family, so to the tune of 25% held by management and associates. So between Max and his family, it's 10% of the company. So I like to invest in companies where the owners have significant skin in the game. The other really important piece of the story is what other big companies have invested in CLLFX. Well, in addition, 40% of the stock is held by institutions, most critically of which is Altius Minerals. Now, here's the reason this is very important. And the reason I want you to focus on Altius Minerals is because this is one of the best companies in the resource sector that has ever come out of Canada. They invested $500,000 at $3.11 a share recently. And today, the stock is 42% cheaper than that. Just to be clear, just so you understand this, they invested at $3.11 because they think at $3.11, the stock is heavily undervalued, meaning they see huge upside potential long-term in this company. That means the best deal makers in the base metal sector believe that CLLFX Mines is a smoking deal at a price that is 50% higher than it is today. Again, that's all publicly available. You can study it easily. You following me on this? The stock is at a huge discount this morning, and they're about to announce mining and drilling results, which could send that stock soaring. Also, the fact that the rockstar company like Altius has invested so heavily should tell you everything you need to know about this company. The next data point that I want to share with you is very important. It's the town where CLLFX is drilling. Now, right next door to their site is a 100-year-old mine that is closing. Actually, it closed in May of this year. It's the famous 777 mine. Now, the whole area relied on this mine for 100 years. It was the backbone of this community. It's closing, closed, done. That means the entire area is cheering on CLLFX and their projects because the 777 mine closed. They went from employing 800 jobs down to 50 overnight. So these new CLLFX projects could bring millions to these towns and hundreds of jobs as well. Now, according to the Silver Institute, tech-related needs, whether it's in chips or Internet of Things devices, vehicles, smartphones, other tools, are expected to increase annually for silver demand from 7.5 million ounces today to 23 million ounces by 2030. Again, we cannot rely on Russia. We cannot rely on China the way that Western NATO countries are now positioning themselves. They're going to be moving completely away from them. All of that to say that we need copper, we need silver, and we need gold. If the West is going to somehow survive this cataclysm, it needs producers like CLLFX to bring these minerals to use. The gap is only expected to get worse unless major mining companies can step up their exploration and their drilling. Again, you can invest in this company today and you can watch as the demand explodes in the next few years and few months. Their stock ticker again is CLLXF, and you can find them on any major exchange. Go and do your own due diligence on this company. Don't take my word for it. Anyway, I just want you to protect your family's wealth away from these globalist billionaires. Get educated about what China and Russia are doing and protect your family with smart investments. We'll have a link below to their copper and gold report that you should all read right now, and I'll see you next time.